r/AskReddit by Reddit. Walmart employees, what's the worst thing you have seen inside your store? So I used to stock the crafts section on overnights. I'm kinda an awkward person, so no human contact was great for me. This old guy on a scooter insisted upon sitting in my aisle for like hours, just staring at the needles. Okay, whatever. I stocked everything I could. But finally I needed him to move, and honestly I was a little creeped out at this point. I mentioned it to my manager on the way to lunch. After lunch he was gone. Turns out he had died there like 5 hours ago. I worked at Walmart for all of my teenage years, and there was so much poop where it shouldn't be. That's the most disgusting. The worst would have been when some thieves attempted to run out the door, followed closely by loss prevention, turned around and sprayed them with mace, which then wafted into the store. A few seniors had to be taken to the hospital for respiratory issues. Everyone working in the store spent all day coughing as the mace lingered in the air, because heaven forbid they shut the store down and think of anyone else's health. I worked at Walmart about 20 years ago, being the manager of the photo lab before digital took over. So my department was right next to the electronics department. I'm chatting with the manager of the electronics department, and all of a sudden we hear a woman yell, "Here it comes." We then see a middle-aged woman frantically scuttling down the aisle, holding her shorts near the back. She ran to the restroom, leaving a trail of liquid poop behind her. It looked like when a dog is sick and you're trying to get them out the door before they make a mess all over your carpet and they keep stopping to poo every few seconds. An employee went in with a pair of pants off the shelf to help out. She put them on and made a beeline toward the exit without paying for them, leaving her soiled shorts in the stall on the floor. My time to shine. First job out of high school, 2009. Moved cross country to be with my girlfriend. End up working at a Walmart as a janitor overnight in the worst part of town in Tulsa, Admiral/Memorial for any locals. This place had everything it could underlock. High theft, and a few people had died there, so the workers nicknamed it Kill Mart. One night, a guy's in the sporting goods area and wants to buy something. He takes his wallet out, said sit on the counter for a second. Thief walks up and grabs it, runs off. The victim proceeds to grab a golf club, chase the man down and violently beat him in an aisle. Blood, broken neck. I'm like 95% positive the guy died. Destroyed aisle. Everyone in the store flipped. A bunch were calling people to view it in the CCTV room. My manager waved me down and asked me to clean up the aisle so the store would look nice for the morning. You know, the crime scene. I clocked out for lunch, quit the next day. Worst ever. Some people signed up for an oil change, then threw one of those household bug bomb foggers into their car while they waited. When the technician went out to pull the car in, it was full of white smoke from the insecticide and the interior was covered in thousands of roaches all trying to escape the fog. We told them to leave. Worst this week. Guy signs up for an oil change, and the technicians find 2 live cats in under the hood of the minivan. The owner came out to deal with it, saying they were his. Oh brother. So many things. Let's break this up into customers and managers' actions. Customers, male made #2 where #1 should go. Female decided used feminine hygiene products make great wall art. Male jizzed on all walls of the restroom. Older lady carried a sword into store. Back office was broken into with a crowbar and employee who tried to stop him got struck in the head with said crowbar. Male assistant manager would constantly talk about going down on his wife during that time. Would ask employees if they've ever done various sexual acts. Would force male employees to climb down an unsecured ladder from the roof onto a thin metal overhang to change flag. Locked eye wash station room. Forced employees to unload pallet loaded truck in parking lot with an incline. This led to one employee breaking his arm. If I remember correctly, him waiting over an hour to go to the because the manager refused to call an ambulance or take him. Older female manager mixed bleach and ammonia to clean toilets. Locked male employee in cardboard baler. There are more stories and I can go into detail if anyone is interested. other than the people freaking out and throwing stuff, and one junkie who continuously stole cans of compressed air for dusting computers to do whippets in the handicapped bathroom. How that didn't kill him, I still don't know. One story stands out. This elderly obese woman came in with her service dog, a little chihuahua or something, probably for anxiety, gets one of the electric scooters, puts the dog with its leash into the basket. During the course of her shopping, the leash goes through the grate of the basket onto the floor and gets run over by the wheels of the scooter. The leash gets twisted up in the motor of the scooter. Eventually, the leash gets yanked tight and begins to strangle the dog. The dog uses what little air it has to panic, but quickly falls silent. The woman does nothing about this. Once she gets to the front of the store, she decides to check on the dog, strangled to death 6 inches in front of her. She flips out and screams at every employee she can find, telling them to do something. Save her dog. I guess she didn't know it was dead. It was their fault. Blah blah. The dog had been dead for almost 20 minutes before she decided to check on it. Pee and poop all over the inside of the cart that she didn't manage to notice or smell for 20 ducking minutes. I no longer work at Walmart. I unfortunately have no idea whether she sued or not, or what really came of it afterwards. I've been working at Walmart for 2.5 years and I've seen it all. The worst thing I've seen was a man who was checking out in the self-checkout. All was good until this smell whiffed by. I didn't think much of it and figured the guy had farted. He proceeded to shake his left leg until a large slimy turd came out his pants. He took his receipt and left. Needless to say, I did not pick that up and called maintenance over. I can only imagine the feeling of a warm turd sliding down my leg. My roommate worked at Walmart for years. The worst story she told me was when some lady confused the fitting rooms for a restroom and she took a big dump in one of the stalls, right on the floor, at some point during the D-door, just after she realized what she'd done and tried to clean it up. But all she could find was a paper towel roll. Just the roll. No paper towels. So she stuck the roll in her pile of poop like a flagpole and went about her day. I was an overpass manager at the time. The store is located in the worst area of major city at a 24-hour store. At around 2 AM the overpass loss prevention associate had just caught a guy shoplifting on the cameras and I had been called up to help him. Things go smoothly. The guy had stolen less than $50 worth of stuff and complied, so it went pretty easy. After letting the shoplifter go, the loss prevention associate had some paperwork to do, so I jumped on the cameras to see what's going on in the store. I soon find a shady looking individual lurking around the electronics department. He's clearly making sure no one is in the vicinity watching him. He sneaks into an aisle and grabs an all-in-one monitor/desktop combo wrapped in spider app. I still don't know why a $1000+ computer wasn't locked behind a cage. He quickly takes it to a different aisle, easily works the spider app off the box, takes the computer out, and shoves it into his sweat pants. Slinking over into the clothing racks and apparel, he hides the computer in some pants and sneaks around for the next 15 to 30 minutes trying to watch the employees up front by the registers. At this time of night only our cigarette aisle is open. All of a sudden, while watching a blonde lady in our only open register line and crouched behind a rack of shirts, he pulls out his D and starts wanking it. Then he wiped himself clean on a shirt that was hanging in front of him. At this point we know we don't want to deal with him at all, so we call the cops. Well, as soon as he finished cleaning off, he heads back to where he hid the computer, puts it back in his pants, and starts to head our way. We realized he was going to get to us before the cops, so as soon as he passes out last point of sale we head out of the monitoring room and confront him. It is here that I should mention that we are supposed to be a hands-off store, as in if we confront a shoplifter we are supposed to stop them with words. But at this location in the middle of the night everybody's a runner. Obviously this guy decides to run. We tackle him and pin him to the ground. Luckily soon after the police show up and we let them handle him from there. Edit. Change student to sudden. It's been years now since I worked there, but this is something I will never forget. I worked in the photo lab which was right next door to electronics. There was a man and a child, the child being maybe 8, looking at video games. I kept hearing the child say he had to go to the bathroom. but his father wouldn't take him or let him go alone. Long story short, the boy obviously couldn't hold it any longer and crapped his pants. The father then told the son to shake it out. The kid did just that, and tons of turds fell out of his shorts onto the floor. The smell was atrocious, and I honestly could not believe what I was witnessing. The father then walked over to my co-worker and said, "Yeah, you better clean this up," and promptly left. I was stunned. Thank you for watching Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/AskReddit videos. Share your stories in the comment section below.